Hello summoners and welcome to another episode of ProGuides' Best Champions to Main, now in patch 12.11. The champs we pick for this series are strong picks with high performance but have low ban rates and are unlikely to be nerfed anytime soon, so they're reliable picks for climbing and are worth investing your time in. We also have a series that covers the most broken contested picks in each row, so be sure you're subbed to the channel so you don't miss out on when we post those as well. We'll be starting things off in the top lane with Tahm Kench. It's kinda crazy how badly Riot wants to keep him as a strong meta pick. Post 12.10, he's just had an all-around average performance, yet they're giving him some pretty big buffs this patch. Those, along with the tank item buffs, should make him a super solid pick again. One word of advice for playing Tahm Kench is to run Ghost. Tahm doesn't really synergize with Flash all that well. It's not like he has some big go button to pair with Flash to make engages happen. Instead, he's all about sticking to targets in longer, more extended fights, and Ghost is perfect for accomplishing that. So either run Ghost TP or, for even more lane dominance, Ghost Ignite. If you're tired of being stuck in your current elo, the first step to climbing is fixing your champion pool. That's why we make these videos, so you can find the right champ or champs for you. After you decide on what you're gonna play, you then have to learn how to play it right. It can take many games to learn a new champion, but you don't have to spend days and weeks doing it all alone. Our top tier coaches over on ProGuides.com can help you figure out exactly what you need to work on. They're available 24/7, so it's never a bad time to come try one out. I promise there's at least one that specializes in exactly what you're looking for. These guys have spent years reaching the top of the ladder, so why wouldn't you want to steal all their solo queue tips and tricks? Find the link to our website down in the description box below. Now, let's get back on topic, shall we? Our second top laner is Quinn. Out of all the ranged top laners in the game, she's by far the best for actually dominating the lane. The problem with other ranged champs is, yeah, they have a range advantage, but they quickly get outscaled by most top laners. They just reach a point where you die to all-ins over and over. But with Quinn's Q and E, she's an amazing duelist at all stages of the game, so you won't go from owning your opponents to just dead on cooldown. As for the build, the one we have is what you want most games, but if your opponent is particularly beefy, feel free to grab Blade of the Ruined King before Stormrazor. If you do that, just drop BT from the end of the build. The last top laner for today is Poppy. While tanks as a whole have been doing worse since the durability changes, Poppy has actually been doing pretty well, so with tank items getting a big blanket buff this patch, she's only gonna be even better. As always, you can also itemize a bit more offensively as needed. Against other tanks, the Sunderer Cleaver combo makes you an absolutely disgusting bully that they can't ever deal with. Taking a look at the jungle, our first pick is Rek'Sai. Yes, you heard it, Rek'Sai. We really thought the durability patch would hurt her a lot. She's a snowball reliant champ, and since snowballing is overall quite a bit weaker, that just seems like it would be the case, but she's been doing just fine. In fact, her win rate is actually higher than before, and with Prowlers now being buffed on 12.11, she'll be even stronger. Our second jungler is Trundle. He's been ridiculously strong in the jungle for months now, but remains an overall super slept on pick. I guess people just find him boring, but I'd take a simple OP champ over a flashy awful one any day. He's a hard counter to all the best meta picks like Wukong, Shyvana, and Volibear, and is able to be both a frontliner and a huge damage threat at the same time. So maybe hang up the Lee Sin or Graves that you usually waste your time on and start abusing this guy. Our third jungler is Warwick. Yeah, Warwick, not in the lane, in the jungle. He's probably the most static champ in this role. He's pretty much always a high A tier or low S tier pick and virtually never sees any balance changes. This makes him an incredibly long-term main to pick up. He also has a super low skill floor, so literally anyone can play him. He also has the added benefit of having pretty flexible itemization. You can go for items like Blade of the Ruined King, Divine Sunder, and Wit's End for a lot more carrying power. Next up, for our mid laners, our first champ is Neeko. She's doing super well right now, and with the system changes on this patch, she's only gonna be doing better. While Everfrost is her most popular mythic, it actually gets outperformed by Rocket Belt. And with this patch nerfing Everfrost and buffing Rocket Belt, that gap is only gonna get bigger. As far as the rest of the itemization goes, we highly recommend a full glass cannon build like the one we have here. Zhonya's may sound nice in theory, but you don't need the stasis on Nico in most cases. Her W and E give you plenty of escape, and your ult's shield is all the durability you should need in fights. Just focus on killing them before they kill you. Our second mid laner is Vel'Koz. Poke mages are overall a lot better since assassins have been hit pretty hard by the durability changes. Assassin items are getting some buffs this patch, but they're pretty minor and shouldn't really cause some massive meta shift. Unlike Nico, it's a lot more understandable to pick up Zhonya's on Vel'Koz. He's completely immobile and has only a single hard-to-hit spell to disengage foes, so feel free to grab it against diving threats. Our last mid laner for today is Gragas. He's been pretty bad in every other role for months now, but mid lane has always been really good for him. The durability patch hurt him a bit, but the buffs he's getting here on 12.11 should make him really solid again. He's a solid laner with good poke, bursty trades, and exceptional wave clear. Post laning phase, he becomes almost like an AP assassin with the ability to one-shot squishies with just a single combo. He even has some engage potential or disengage with his ult. Moving things down to the bot lane, our first pick is Veigar. The nerf he's getting is pretty laughable. He's been one of the best champs in both mid and AD carry for almost this entire season. And if the best Riot can do is add 2 seconds to his cage, I'm guessing they just don't really want that to change. Our second bot carry is Twitch, with Vayne being hotfixed on 12.10 and Cog being nerfed on this patch. There's a pretty strong argument that Twitch is just the best hyper carry in the game now. Another reason you should really consider maining him is that he has a lot more agency than most other AD carries. Post lane phase, instead of relying on the team to frontline and engage for you, you can play him like an assassin, making picks on overextended enemies anytime you get the chance. Our third bot carry for this patch is Ashe. With both Kraken and Lethal Tempo being nerfed, Ashe's main selling points are that she's super lane dominant and she provides a lot of utility via her Hawkshot, slows, and ult. All in all, she's still a great pick if you're not okay with being the main star of the show. While there's still a lot of balancing Riot has to do after such a massive patch, it's pretty apparent the general direction things are going in. Predictably, assassins are weaker and AD carries are just much stronger, especially the hyper-scaling picks like Twitch. It's just so easy to scale up now that the game is less snowbally, and that's what the marksman class is all about. And that leads us to today's question of the day. How do you feel about the overall health of the game after this patch? Some people have claimed that it lowers the skill cap, but honestly I think that's just thinking too one-dimensionally. Yeah, solo tower dives are harder, but it encourages cleaner gameplay and more coordinated dives with your jungler. I also really enjoy not getting one-shot every single time I make a tiny little mistake, and also seeing my death recap actually tell me what I died to. But that's just my take, and we want to hear from you, so let us know what you think in the comments below. Now, without further ado, let's move on to our supports. Starting off our support list, we've got Zyra. Supports are really the one that dictate how the bot lane plays out, and Zyra is the absolute GOAT of lane dominance down here. She's so oppressive, you can practically 1v2 the lane while your AD carry farms. Unlike other poke mages that are susceptible to being engaged on, Zyra excels in all-in fights once you have her ult. The combination of big burst damage and AoE knockup and higher DPS to her plants means you should always trade back at least 1 or 2 kills if you even die in the first place. Next up we have Sona. She's pretty much the exact opposite of Zyra. Instead of being lane dominant, you're pretty much gonna be as passive as possible, only ever trading for spell thief stacks and to stack her passive. Your entire laning phase plan is just max W and survive so you can scale up to teamfights where she's an insanely impactful champion. The last support we have is Maokai. The build we have here is much more damage heavy than usual, and as a result, you're obviously going to be a lot squishier. This build is all about sapling damage. But if you just want to be a CC bot and make picks with him, you can still run the standard Aftershock page and rush boots of Swiftness and Dead Man's Plate as your first 2 items like usual. And that is it for our top 3 champs to main on 12.11. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to sub so you never miss out on our meta guides and so you're always in the loop on what the best picks are. Remember to let us know how you feel about the state of the game down in the comments below. And one last thing, don't forget to check out our Discord in the description box below, where you can discuss League further or just hang out and be a part of our community. I can't wait to see you guys back for the next video, but until then, good luck on the Rift and may the LP gods smile down upon you.